Hi, I'm Chris and welcome to The Better Life. This is the first in a three-part introduction series on how to start getting fit. So this is very suitable for anyone that really hasn't been active or hasn't exercised for a period of time, or perhaps you've never actually exercised or built that into your life at all. This is a great introduction series on how you can start doing that and implementing positive elements into your life. Firstly, I'm going to say that I'm very much of the mindset that if you give someone a fish, you'll sustain them for a day. If you teach someone how to fish, then you'll be able to help them sustain themselves for a longer period of time. And that's very much the nature of much of the information I put out on this channel and on this website. More than spoon-fed programs, you're going to find information on principles and concepts that you can apply to your own life so that you can design and become successful in your own fitness regime. So let's get started. In this video, we're going to talk about activity. And it won't surprise you that in order to become healthier and fitter, you're going to have to up your activity levels. Now, most people think this equates to joining an aerobics class or going along to a gym and pushing weights 3 times a week. Now, these are absolutely fantastic ways to get yourself healthier and fitter. However, many people, especially beginners, especially those that have never really gone into these fitness culture environments before, really don't feel comfortable. They might have, and you might have, some real objections to stepping into that world, and that's okay. It's just that you might find it daunting or intimidating. You might think that it's costly to time and money, and quite possibly you just think it's really boring and looks really boring. And for people that have that mindset, which is a fair opinion to have, aerobics classes or fitness classes and the gym environments actually just become demotivators. It would decrease the likelihood of sticking to the program. It would increase the likelihood of quitting. Now, you don't want to quit, and I don't want you to quit. So I find it very important to stress to you that just because you want to get healthier and fitter, it does not necessarily mean that you have to step into this fitness culture world and submit yourself to going into these environments where you might not be comfortable. Now, a core aspect of my fitness philosophy is that fitness should not feel like homework. It shouldn't feel like chores. And the truth is that the fitness culture fads and programs too often distract us from the core truths and the core science of our bodies, which is that enough movement is going to help your body, make your body adapt and to become lean, energetic, and fit for your lifestyle's purpose. So the truth is that aside from all the sales pitches, your body will respond to increased movement. It doesn't know whether it's called exercise, it just knows that you are pushing it to change and become lean, energetic, and more fit for purpose. A quick example is that all my life, ever since leaving school, I've loved health and fitness. I've always been healthy and fit, but it wasn't until I decided that I wanted to become a personal trainer that I ever stepped into a gym. Unfortunately, most of the course was in a gym environment, but I'm there training to be a personal trainer. I've never run on a treadmill, but I used to go out for 6-mile runs on a casual Sunday. I used to go out cycling with friends, and we used to go and do a route around where we lived. I went boxing, I did home workouts and played around with weights and body weight exercises. I was very healthy and fit. However, I'd never stepped into a gym. So I just want to make that point to encourage you that if you want to get healthy and fit, don't be intimidated by the idea that you have to go somewhere where you're uncomfortable. This video is all about teaching you that there is no one right way to get fit. There is no one right way for anyone and everyone to get fit, no matter what it says on a fitness program sales pitch. But there is one right way to fail. And that is to try and commit to doing something 3 times a week that you really don't enjoy and that you really wish you had an excuse to get out of. Because the truth is that you will find that excuse. So the first aspect of becoming successful in getting healthier and fitter is actually choosing to do so using activities that you will enjoy, that you can enjoy doing in and of themselves, and that can actually enrich your life, not in 6 months when they start making you healthier, but would enrich your life right now. So there are many ways for you to incorporate physical activity and exercise, but physical activity into your life in a way that will help you get fit. And the way that we can start to identify what those physical activities might be is for me to take you back to school, and we're just going to learn how the body gets fit. And once you understand that, you'll really be able to take charge of your own fitness regime and pretty much turn anything into exercise. So how does our body actually get fit? How does it get fitter? What's the process by which it changes? Well, as we up our activity, our muscles require more energy, more fuel, in order to cope with more frequent and more powerful contractions. So that's movement of our limbs. So as we up our pace to start running towards the number 34 bus, the systems which are delivering energy, the fuel to our muscles, need to up their pace also. They need to be able to deliver the amount of energy that the muscles are now requiring. So by the time you're bent over and gasping and raising obscene gestures towards that ever-distant bus, you would have noticed that your heart and your breathing have gotten faster. And that's because that's the system, the cardiovascular system, the aerobic system, which is trying to keep up with the demand for energy delivery. So fitness is actually about our energy delivery system becoming more efficient. So on a daily basis, as our body realizes that there's a greater demand for energy, that is what causes it to start changing. That's what causes it to start thinking, okay, today was difficult, I want to be better tomorrow. It just thinks, right, that was tough, so I'm gonna go and get myself more prepared. And that's what the body does. Exercise just triggers adaptation, change. It steps up for the next game. I guess it's kind of like Amazon delivery service or a delivery service. If the current demand for delivery of parcels is stretching the resources of the Amazon delivery service, it doesn't give up the game. Instead, it employs more drivers, it acquires more vehicles, it might plan for increased or multiplied delivery slots. Now what that's doing there is adapting in order to meet the delivery demand. So that's very much what our bodies are doing. When the need for energy and the delivery of energy and the function of our body increases, our system adapts, it triggers adaptation and changes in our body so that it can start keeping up with that demand. So exercise is kind of like Christmas for Amazon delivery service. It kind of just says, you've got to up the game here and change and become better. So what activities will trigger that adaptation? What activities will make us get fit? Well, as I've said, it's not just about exercise in terms of what you might find in the fitness culture. It's not actually about the activity so much as challenging the body to change, to trigger a change. So let me give you an example. Somebody that is on their feet all day for work, perhaps, maybe walking around a campus a lot, they're not going to really feel strained taking a walk around a park on an afternoon. However, somebody that really hasn't moved for a year, who just generally plays games consoles, has a sit-down job, really doesn't exercise, they might actually find a walk around the park to be rather strenuous and rather taxing. Now, the first person would not find the walk around the park to be suitable or helpful as a feature on their fitness regime, because it doesn't challenge their cardiovascular system, it doesn't challenge their body beyond what it's used to. However, the second person, again, who might be considerably overweight, who can't really move so easily, might find that a walk around the park 3 times a week is a great start to their new fitness regime, because it would be challenging their system. So the activity remains the same. However, one person would find that useful, another person would find that completely irrelevant to pushing their body to change. So it's not actually about the activity, it's about getting into the challenge zone. So how do we understand the challenge zone? How do we know that we're in that zone, that we are sufficiently challenging our body to trigger adaptation? Well, it sounds like we're mutants, doesn't it? But we do this by meeting 3 baseline figures. And if we're meeting these 3 baseline figures, then we are turning any physical activity into what some might call exercise. So the baseline figures are in reference to our frequency of exercise, our duration of exercise, and most importantly, our intensity of exercise. So frequency and duration is rather easy to figure out. We exercise at least 3 times a week. That's your bottom lower baseline. So at least 3 times a week. And at each of those times, you need to exercise for 30 minutes. Now, some people say 20, you'll find that on other websites. I think 30 minutes is a great number to just start getting you going. And you're here to make a difference, aren't you? So 30 minutes, 30 minutes. That's frequency and duration taken care of. What we need to look at now is the intensity. Well, we measure intensity with reference to our maximum heart rate. Okay, so you can see the chart that's either on screen somewhere right now or it's below. But it will be accompanying this video. And this is a simple chart which shows you maximum heart rate with regard to age. Now the zones on this chart are in reference to percentages of the maximum heart rate. And the maximum heart rate is in the measurement of beats per minute. So what we need to do therefore is figure out regarding our maximum heart rate, which you can find yours in reference to your age on the chart. We then have to understand how many beats per minute corresponds to 60%, 70%, and 85% of our maximum heart rate. To push our cardiovascular system in order to become more aerobically fit, you need to be taking your heartbeats per minute into the range of 70 and 85% of your MHR, your maximum heart rate. Now, as you can see on the chart, 60% to 70% would be getting into that fat loss zone, and then 70% onwards would start to push your aerobic fitness, and that's always a recommendation. So how do you actually measure the intensity? Well, the simplest way is to use a heart rate monitor. The heart rate monitor would have your beats per minute displayed on your watch, so you can just take a glance at it during your activities, movements, whatever you're doing. And all you really need to be doing is making sure that the beats per minute are in the zone of between 70 and 85% beats per minute, of whatever that corresponds to, and use the chart to figure that out. So that's the easiest way. If you can't get a heart rate monitor for the time being, you can stop and take a pulse for 10 seconds and times that by 6. Now, that will require mathematics on the go, but if you're happy with that, fine enough. However, watching your heart rate is also a safety concern as well. It's good to make sure that you're not pushing yourself too hard for too long. So actually, a heart rate monitor is a great way to make sure you're not taking it too far. My recommendations would be the heart rate monitor, which is in the description of this video. It's cheap, it's cheerful, it's reliable, and it's the one that I use personally. So to summarize and conclude this video, how can you start getting fit? Well, with regard to physical activity, it's great if you go along to a gym, and it's great if you go along to a fitness class. Those are really optimized movements. They will help you to get into that zone. But now that you understand how the body gets fit, you're actually able to incorporate physical activity into your life, which you could turn into exercise. Because you only need to meet those baseline figures. You need to be exercising at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes at least, and you need to keep your intensity of exercise in reference to your maximum heart rate in between 70 and 85%. Now, as long as you're meeting those baseline figures, you're going to start triggering that adaptation. You're going to start causing your body to get fit. So there are actually many ways that you can do this, which don't necessarily mean you have to go to a gym or go to a fitness class, especially if that would become a barrier to you reaching your goals. You do not want to quit, and I don't want you to quit. So this introduction to physical activity for fitness is all about introducing you to key concepts so that you can start to design your own physical activity in order to reach your goals and be successful in reaching those. So very quickly, here are some ideas on how you can start getting fit. If you're not going to a class or to the gym, you just need to meet those baseline figures. So start walking to work. If it's a 30-minute walk and you're doing that maybe 4 or 5 times a week actually, or maybe even more with a return trip, that will do your baseline stats a world of good. So all you need to do then is make sure that your heart rate is up in that challenge zone. So just get yourself a heart rate monitor, start walking to work. Now, as your body adapts after you've started walking to work, in 2 or 3 weeks, you might find that your heart rate is sitting at 60% at that same pace. So you simply increase your pace. Perhaps you're going to start getting into the challenge zone at the point of a light jog. Then you start jogging to work, but you just congratulate yourself because your body is already adapted, you've already pushed it to change, you've already started getting fit. And that's one of the wonderful things about exercise, is that you will start to see changes rather quickly regarding what you're capable of. So just make sure that you alter your activity in order to maintain the challenge zone for intensity. Again, other ideas are, if you want to get fit in order to be more active with your family, just start being more active with your family. Take the children up to the park, get involved with the ball games, keep a heart rate monitor on your wrist, and just make sure that you're running enough, chasing that ball enough to stay in the challenge zone. That's going to be a great workout, great movement. Lastly, of course, you know, get on a bike, get a cycle to work scheme. Again, going to and from work 4 or 5 days a week is for a 30-minute journey is really going to do your baseline stats the world of good. And again, just watch the intensity. Stay up above 70%. See how long you can stick to 85% at intervals during that journey. Just enjoy yourself. Start getting active. And if you want that to be effective, just keep an eye on the intensity. And that really is all there is to it. But I really hope that the knowledge, that the information is actually going to empower you to start enjoying and designing your own fitness schedule. And I would love to hear about what you're starting to incorporate into your life. Let me know how it works for you. And again, please do get in touch if you're looking for further advice. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please do subscribe to this channel. Please do subscribe and join me on my website. And if you've enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, please do like the video and share it to those that you think might also find it useful. Again, this is the first in a 3-part introduction series. The next video is going to talk about nutrition, and I hope to see you in that video. Thank you very much.